Hey everyone, welcome back to Lazyboy Crypto. It's that time of year again, that dreaded time of year where you've got to sit down and do your taxes. Now, even if you have an accountant or a tax professional to do them for you, you still need to actually get all of the information together so that you can give it to them. And there's no greater headache than crypto transactions when it comes to taxes. And if you're like me, then you have thousands of crypto transactions that happen within a given tax year. So there's only one solution really, and that is to use a crypto tax calculator. Now, the one that I use is Koinly. There are others out there, but if you do want to use Koinly, then there's a link in the description below. It's very useful for me. I like it. I've been using it for a couple years now. So this is Koinly, and you can select your wallet. All you have to do is click add wallet or exchange, and you can search for whatever exchange you use. Here's a list of the most common ones. They pretty much have everything that I've used. Or you can add your wallet. They have MetaMask, which is handy. Now, I actually have some transactions from crypto.com that I need to upload. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. So click on crypto.com. I'd rather just import from file. It's easy to go to your crypto.com app and go to your transaction history and just download your transactions and then upload it here. And once you've uploaded all of your wallets, all of your exchanges that you've used, then you can click on transactions, because you're going to have to go through each transaction and make sure it's labeled correctly. Now, remember, when you are uploading your transaction history from exchanges and wallets, make sure you upload from as far back as you can, because Koinly is going to need all of the information, your purchase history and so on. So if you bought, Bitcoin 3 years ago, for example, you're going to need to upload your 3 years worth of transactions so that Koinly can record the date and time and amount when you actually bought that crypto. So let's go to transactions, and here they all are ready uploaded for me, and Koinly has done its best to label them correctly. So it knows this is a deposit card cashback. It's labeled that's correct. I do have a crypto.com Visa card. On your cashback, you don't have to pay taxes on those. It's like with any credit card, it's a reward, so you don't have to pay tax on that. So I'm gonna leave it as a deposit, because anything labeled deposit is not calculated in your taxes that you owe. So I'm just gonna go back now throughout the whole 2022 year, because I'm doing my 2022 taxes, and make sure that everything is labeled correctly. So this one is labeled a reward. So the difference between the card cashback and the rewards here are my staking rewards, because when you have a crypto.com Visa card, you can get staking rewards for staking your CRO. So a reward that is taxed, that's counted as income. So I'm going to leave it as a reward because Koinly already knows that rewards are taxed, but card cashback is not. So I'm going to leave this as it is. So here it's found some different transactions. It says that I have sent some USDT to this wallet. I don't know where I sent it off the top of my head, but here you can see that I converted USDC to USDT, and it says that I got a 16-cent profit in that because of the conversion. Now that 16-cent profit is going to be added to my capital gains, and Koinly is going to do that for me. So I'm going to leave that as it is, but you'll see in a bit how all of these profits, there's another one here, but there's actually a loss here, how it all adds up in the end. This one is quite a lot, $17.90, and yeah, let's keep going through. And remember, you can relabel anything by just clicking edit. And then here, type of transaction, there'll be a list of eligible labels that you can use. Now this here, Koinly has detected this transaction. It says no market price found for this. Basically meaning Koinly can't tell where and when I purchased this coin. It doesn't have the initial purchase price to do a capital gains calculation. But what this is, it looks like a dusting thing where scammers, I guess, they will send tiny amounts, I should say, of crypto to your wallet. and they're hoping that you will interact with them in some way. So this looks to me just to be that, a tiny minuscule amount of crypto. I'm actually just going to delete this because it's not relevant to me. So I'm just going to delete that from my transaction so I don't have to look at it. Now this one is interesting because it says it can't find the purchase history for my loop ring, and that's probably because I haven't uploaded enough far back. When I uploaded my crypto.com transactions, I only uploaded from the past year, but I bought loop ring earlier than that, so I need to go back and upload even more transactions from previous years from crypto.com so that Koinly can gather the purchase history for that 500 loop ring. Now with this transaction, it says I've received a reward for the Dreamin token. Now this is correct and it's going to be counted as income. Unfortunately, this Dreamin project is no longer, it doesn't exist anymore. So this Dreamin that I've received is now essentially worthless. However, that's not how crypto transactions work when it comes to taxes, especially, well, particularly in Canada, which is where I am. It could be different where you are, but where I am, it's counted at the time that you receive it, the value of the token at the time that you received it. And that was $4.96 in my case. So that still counts as income because that's what it was worth when I received it. If I was to receive it now, it would be worth $0. So unfortunately, there's nothing I can really do about this. It still counts as income, even though the project is no more. Now you'll see here that I received Horde tokens. This was back when Horde was actually, in full swing and actually paying out rewards that were worth something. So this is counted as income and it's $1,400. And so I have to leave it as it is because that's what it was worth at the time that I received it. So that counts as income. This reward, any kind of staking rewards that you get, any rewards from DeFi projects, it's all counting as income. But if I go back to the next page, you'll see that then I swapped it for BUSD. Okay, so when you sell, that counts as a capital gain transaction. And in this case, it was a capital loss. So when I exchanged Horde for BUSD, due to the exchange rate, I actually lost $128. So that's a capital loss in this case, but it could be a profit. So whatever this number is, this is going to be either a capital loss or a capital profit. So in the end, you're going to have to pay tax on your income received, which is your staking rewards, the value of those, and you're also going to have to pay capital gains on any transactions that count as a capital gain. Now, when it comes to costs, Koinly labels gas fees as costs, so I tend to leave them as costs. Whether or not your tax jurisdiction will actually allow you to deduct all of your costs from your income during the tax year, I can't answer that for you. You will have to do some research on that. But I leave all my transaction fees, gas fees as costs, and then you'll see in a little bit how much all my costs have added up as, and then it's up to your accountant or yourself to research into whether you can actually deduct all of those costs. So just because Koinly labels it a cost doesn't mean that's automatically allowed as an expense or to be written off on your tax return. So once you've been through all of your transactions, you can click on tax reports up here, and now you can actually view a summary of all of your capital gains and your income. So if we look at this, it says my capital gains for this year is actually minus $16,800. So actually I'm in a big capital loss this year. And if we look at the income, that's a whopping $48,000. And my costs is equally huge at $40,000. But if we look at it more closely, this income is actually from things like strong block rewards back when they were actually worth something, Horde tokens, all of these DeFi projects that I had invested in, especially at the beginning of the year when they were still worth, a few $100s each. So this is all my income, and that's why it's so big. It's from all those rewards from those node projects. And equally, my costs are so huge because anytime that I would, say, claim 10 Horde tokens, that counts as income. And then I would immediately create a new Horde plot, and that counts as a cost. Whether I can actually deduct those costs from my taxes, again, that's something you're going to have to research yourself. Every jurisdiction is going to be different. But if you're in Canada like me, I did a ton of research last year when I was doing this, and I came to the conclusion to make my nodes, the cost to set up these nodes, these plots, so, strong block nodes, Horde plots, etc. I put those as a capital cost allowance, and that allows me to deduct a percentage of the cost each tax year. So I didn't put them as expenses. I didn't put $40,000 worth of expenses on my tax return. Instead, I put capital cost allowance, and I was able to deduct a small percentage from each cost of the node, and I'll be able to continue to do that for the next several years. So to actually build your tax return, you can pick a report type down here, and you can select which report you want to download. So let's do the capital gains and just click download report. If you do have a free version of Koinly, then you won't be able to download reports, so you will have to upgrade to a paid plan in order to actually download them and to actually view the amount of your capital gains and losses. So with a free account, you won't be able to actually view this information. But to show you how it looks and how to actually insert this information into your tax return, I'm going to do that now. So this is my capital gains report that I just downloaded from Koinly. So you can see all of it here, and it's a big long list of transactions. It's crazy, like when you see it all in one place, just how many that you do. Anyway, no thank you. So here we have the asset, the amount, the cost, the proceeds, and the gain or the loss. Now, if you're in Canada, you can use Wealthsimple Tax. If you're American, I feel sorry for you that you cannot use it because it is super simple, easy to use, and it's completely free. So in your capital gains section, capital gains or losses, just select crypto assets from the type. And then the description, you can add a description if you want, crypto transactions, I don't know, doesn't matter. Now, if you just have a handful of crypto assets that you've bought and sold, then you can list them individually. So if you've bought Bitcoin and sold it, you can write Bitcoin here, the cost that you bought it for right here, and the proceeds, that's how much you sold it for right here. And it will tell you your gain or loss. However, if like me, you have hundreds or thousands of transactions, then you can just put the total amount of all of them in these sections. So an easy way to get the total is you could just highlight all of the costs, for example, in this column. And then you can go to formula, sum, and it will have the sum all the way down at the bottom for you. It will add it up right here, and we'll paste this into the proceeds. Okay, $204,000. That's not how much I've spent, it's just the way that it's calculated. So now we need to get the cost basis, and that's this number here, so we'll just copy that and then paste in the cost basis, and there you go. And now it calculates it, and this number should be the same number as this number right here. So that's my capital loss. Okay, so I can leave that as it is. So that's Koinly. There's a link in the description if you want to use it. Like I said, I like it a lot. And if you do want to check out the plans, they vary depending on how many transactions you have. So if you only have a few transactions, it's going to cost you way less than if you have thousands of transactions like me. So for me, I have the trader plan that allows me 3,000 transactions in any given tax year, and it costs me $219 for that. The hodler one is $119. That allows you 1,000 transactions. Newbie, if you have just 100 transactions, you can get that for $59. And this is all in Canadian dollars, by the way. So if you're in the US, that's going to be cheaper for you. And Koinly is available in many different countries, okay? And they also have lots of great educational information. So if you are stuck on something, you don't know what to label it as, but if you're not sure about anything, then Koinly does have a huge amount of articles and information so that you don't get stuck. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful. I find my crypto taxes such a headache, and I will be going through this in way more detail to make sure it's accurate, and you should do as well. And don't do what I've done just because I've done it and you're copying me. You must absolutely do your own research and get the opinion of a tax professional, because everyone's situation is different. But I hope this was just a good overview to get you started and give you a better idea of kind of what you need to figure out for yourself. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.